What was your come up story?
Yeah, I was kind of a car guy going through college and stuff, and I had a little Nissan D21 truck that
Your burnout
I was
truck?
kind of building. Yep, basically, yeah. College, I swapped a V8 into it, just a small block Chevy. Didn't really have a direction to go with it. I was just kind of having fun with it,
Yep.
and we ended up going drifting. We didn't really know drifting was much of a thing in our area, but me and a couple of buddies heard of an event going on, and we went down to it. Just so happened to be a guy down there drifting a D21 with a 1JZ in it. You know, it caught my eye, obviously, and I'm like, I have to try this.
Welcome back to the Talk Motorsports Show, where we bring you behind the scenes and under the hood of all things video games and motorsport. My name's Benny Harko. I'm here with Gav today.
Yes, sir. I'm back, baby. And we are joined today by the one and only Alec Robbins.
Alec Robbins. He's currently prepping for FD English Gen. Alec, how you going, man?
Good. Yeah. We actually just got the car loaded up a couple hours ago, and we're heading out right away in the morning. So,
sweet, dude.
yeah,
Exciting.
excited.
How
to get
you?
going.
Yeah. How you feeling about this weekend?
Feeling good. We actually just got a new motor in the car. Just finished that up today, and yeah, everything's coming together good. That track's always super fun to drive. It's a lot more technical than Orlando, the last round we came from. So it's a fun one.
When
Look
you meant
forward to
new
it.
motor, you talking new LS or you talking completely different from LS?
Nope, just a
Just a
fresh
new LS.
motor.
Ah, cool.
Another LS. Yep.
Fire.
Yep.
I was going to say, what happened?
Yep.
What happened?
We
It's already changed.
We had some mechanical issues with it, and yeah, we had to do a little work to it. So
Yeah, give it a little
it's back.
TLC.
It's better than ever.
Sick.
Yeah,
Nah, it's
yeah.
it's good to see you again, man. Obviously, we caught up in Atlanta, and yeah, you're with
Yep.
your little sidekick Tux in the passenger seat.
Yep.
How's
Yep.
Tux?
He'll be out in New Jersey too.
Yeah, nice.
He's
Does he
doing
go on the
good.
road with you to,
Yep.
to all events or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he just sits on the center console and sleeps in the truck and hangs out with us. Yeah.
Living the best life.
Couple of ride-alongs.
Yeah, he's gotten a little bigger since then, but not too much.
Yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
up to like 6 pounds now.
Oh, awesome. Nah, he was a little cutie.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome, man.
So, for
Yeah.
those who don't know you, obviously who don't know you aside from drifting, how did you get into drifting? So, those who only know you from pro, what was your come up story?
Yeah.
Give us that.
So I was kind of a car guy going through college and stuff, and I had a little Nissan D21 truck.
Yep.
That
Your burnout
I was
truck?
kind of building. Yep, basically, yeah. So when I was in college, I swapped a V8 into it, just a small block Chevy, and you know, didn't really have a direction to go with it. I was just kind of having fun with it,
Yep.
and we ended up going drifting. We didn't really know drifting was much of a thing in our area, but me and a couple of buddies heard of an event going on, and we went down to it. And
This is
just so
Minnesota?
happened there was actually, yep. And just so happened to be a guy down there drifting D21 with a 1JZ in it, and you know, it caught my eye, obviously, and I'm like, I have to try this. So there's not a whole, like when I first got into drifting up here, there wasn't a whole lot as far as events.
Mhm.
But yeah, we got into it, started hitting some of the small events as they came up, and yeah, just started modifying the truck as we needed to. Obviously, trucks are not ideal
No.
a platform to start with, so there was a lot of fabricating and building and stuff going on. So I basically learned how to do all the fabrication and welding and stuff kind of as I went, and taught myself how to do it all, and that kind of paid off a lot down the road when we ended up going into Pro 1 and
100%.
everything
Yeah,
else, so.
because like
Yeah.
I've seen a few couple of videos, and you were like, I think you're only one of the fair few that actually worked majority, like a good portion of your pro car, and it's like not a shop build. You know, no disrespect to shop
Yeah.
builds. You know, we love shop builds. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like a complete different
Yeah.
perspective where it's just like, yeah, I wrenched this whole thing, dude. And it's like
Yep.
even like
Yep.
little small things like your V1, dude. Like the story, like how you just kept the door handle, and it's just like still. For those who don't know, your V1 was practically purchased on fire. You know, door handle was practically like melted and everything. But you kept that for your.
Yeah.
You kept it as like.
Yeah.
Why did you keep it?
Just for fun. We
Love
call the
it.
car crispy. So
Crispy, there you
backstory
go.
on that
Love
car,
it.
we
It's got character to it, dude. It's got sentimental value from day zero.
Right.
Literally,
Yeah.
love it.
And so
Yeah,
did
like
you...
when we first got it, like it had like the door handles were obviously kind of crispy, and then like the headlights and taillights were kind of like melted and droopy.
Yeah.
So
What about
and
the
then,
headlights and taillights?
actually
Did you
if
keep that on?
No,
No,
they were too far gone.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
But if you actually pull the wrap off of the car, the roof of it is still like a kind of a charred color, so it's kind of funny.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it's OG. It's OG.
That's so OG, dude.
And so, not to jump the gun too much or anything, but you moved through Pro Spec pretty quickly up to FD Pro, didn't you? Over the course of only a couple of years.
Man's not here to play games, bro.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. You gotta, we have the end goal in mind, and we just went for it. But yeah, we did. 2018 was my first full year in Pro 2.
Yep.
Or it was Pro 2 back then. Now it's Pro Spec.
Yep.
But yeah, we drove 2018, and then 2019 we got second in the series. And yeah, after that, it's like we could either hang back in Pro Spec or make the jump. And I don't think there's ever really a time where you feel like you're 100% ready. I didn't feel like we were going to make it to a point where we would be able to comfortably jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just made the jump.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Yeah. That's
but yeah,
it.
when we made the jump, it kind of worked out well because that was the year that COVID hit.
Mm.
So the full Pro 1 season was only basically 4 rounds, but they were doubleheader rounds.
Yeah.
So it made the jump a little easier because it was only half the travel.
Yeah.
So
It was that. Yeah.
it worked out a little bit in our favor.
And,
So it was kind of nice. It made the jump a little bit smoother.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so how did you how did you tackle the through COVID? Were you on the sim rig at all, keeping up with practice, or did you still have the opportunity to get out on the track and get a few laps in? Or
Yeah, we there was a handful of events. One of our good sponsors, actually the guys who build our motor and do all the tuning, they have a track up in northern Minnesota here. So we were able to get up there and do a little testing and driving and stuff throughout the season while everything was kind of going crazy. And so yeah, we were able to kind of keep up. And yeah, once the season finally did kick off, we were ready to go. So
yeah, that's
as ready as we could be.
That's it. Yeah, and it's good to still have those any opportunity to get the car out there. Being in Minnesota, it's a fair trek to get to most rounds. Like obviously, Atlanta and Orlando being on the East Coast, it's a decent drive.
It's definitely got its ups and downs. The good thing about it is we don't have any rounds that are like extremely crazy. Like we're not going from New York all the way down to LA or doing any 40-hour drives or anything like that. Like from here to the LA area is the longest we have, and that's about 30 hours.
Wow. So Long Beach should take a few days just to get to and from.
Yeah. It's typically like 2.5 days. It's 2 full days, and then you end up getting there on the 3rd day. So it's a decent hike, but it's nice because we can go down to LA, and then basically on the way back, because we go from round 1 in Long Beach all the way out to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we're kind of
Creeping
it's a little bit out of the way, obviously, going all the way to the north, but we kind of we're able to go home and kind of get stuff sorted out and then hit the East Coast, and so it works. And then if we do run into any issues, we're not having to drive all the way back across the country or anything. It's always kind of halfway. So
yeah, no, of course.
It works.
So in between Atlanta and Orlando, did you stick around on the East Coast, or did you head back up home? Or
no, for that one we kept the car down there. So it was after Atlanta, we kept the car down in Atlanta and then just drove the rest of the way to Orlando.
Yep.
And then but then after Orlando, we brought the car back here, and now we're heading back out to the east. So
sweet, living life on the road.
Dude, that's so good. I mean, to an extent though. I mean, there has to be some drawbacks.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds good to an extent, but like, this dude's definitely hiding some drawbacks from it. Like,
that's the lifestyle, I guess.
So, like, obviously being in the north, we have winter.
Yeah, what is
so
that?
I'd say that's the biggest drawback.
Yeah.
We basically prepping for Long Beach every year. there's still snow on the ground here, so we can't get any seat time, basically.
Yeah.
And like loading up, it's always a challenge because like everything's buried in snow. Like
Yeah, and everything's just
at that
icy.
point in the season, we've
Yeah.
got tons of snow. So like it's digging everything out of the ice and trying to get the trailer out and get the car in, and it's not a whole lot of fun. But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can
usually
imagine.
by the time we get back from round one, it's mostly melted, so we're good to go then.
Yeah, that's it. And I guess to circle back to to your cars and just to talk a bit about the 350. Why? Yeah, just how come? Why that particular chassis? And like, have you sort of had a bit of a thing for Nissan in the past, or?
No, not a ton. When we decided to go with the 350, we were looking for something very budget minded and also something, obviously that had a really good aftermarket support.
Yep.
And was widely available. And the 350 this was 2016, basically at the end of 2016.
Yeah.
So the 350s were very available.
Yeah.
We ended up partnering up with a shop in the area called Sly Good. They're now called Tuner Spares, but they're basically a salvage yard that basically just deals with like rear-wheel drive, like imports and fun cars like that.
Yep.
So we were able to team up with them and get a chassis through them. That's where we ended up with Crispy. It was like a salvage title car. So yeah, we ended up with that. But yeah, when I was searching for a car or trying to decide on a chassis, it was basically between the 350Z and a C5 or C6 Corvette.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, there really wasn't anyone making an angle kit for the Corvette or a competitive angle kit. It was I think there was like some bolt-on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now's a different
ever
story.
since probably in 2019 or so is kind of when everyone started to come out with the angle kits and stuff.
Yeah, that was the
for those. So now it, like, if I had a Corvette starting back then, it probably would have been a little bit more ideal of a chassis. But the Z's been good to us, so
100%.
That's it.
I'm happy with it. Yeah.
You've obviously got that big iconic turbocharger on the
Big-
poking out of the hood there.
No, it's good. It's a Magnuson blower.
Big old
isn't it?
Magnuson.
Is it?
Yeah, Magnuson.
Yeah.
Yep, supercharger.
Yeah.
So I had a question. I took a quick squiz in your Instagram. Because you built your cars, or the majority of it, how long did it take for you to go between V1 to V2? How long was that? And versus how long did it take you to develop V1?
So I started when we first got the car, was the winter of 2017. So early 2017 was when I got the car. And then we built it and started driving it at the beginning of 2018. So it was pretty much a full year of just slowly building it.
Yep.
During that year was actually I drove my first Pro 2 event. I was driving driving another 350Z, and we did 2 rounds that year in that Z, kind of as I was building mine.
Your seat time card, the other Z?
No, it was a shop down based out of Atlanta called Coreworks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Coreworks.
Yeah.
Were there last
Yep,
year?
it was the Z actually that Ryan Littoral ended up driving. And I think 2018. 2018,
When did that happen? Did that happen in
2019.
LS?
I don't remember what year he came.
Actually can't remember.
Yep, it was
it's got LS on
LS,
there,
LS3, yeah.
Did you always knew you were going to do the
yeah, it
LS
was
on the
kinda-
Z? Like when you guys were first
so
planning
that
Crispy, you
whole
guys were
thing-
like, yeah, we're going to do the LS.
Because I got it as a rolling chassis, and we were like, yeah, it's gonna get an LS right away.
budget friendly too.
Yeah.
Plus,
and
the parts are still accessible for you guys there as well. So.
And so the V1, I guess, version of the car, it was pretty much it was just a stock GM motor, like totally stock, 6-liter LS. It had basically a bunch of GM performance parts bolted onto it.
Yeah.
It had the LSA supercharger and just an LS9 cam, like kind of a whole bunch of cookie cutter parts kind of jammed into one package.
Yep.
And it worked pretty good. I think we made 550 horsepower in 2018.
Wow.
So
I mean, it's still up there, but it's still not it's not like FD. I mean, like when people hear like FD car numbers, they're probably expecting like the 4 digits. Like if it
it's getting crazy now.
if it ain't
though.
4 digits,
You know,
like, yeah.
Like you've got ASBO and you know, the RTR Mustangs that are
Yeah.
pushing 1,000 plus, which is just insane.
Yeah,
amount of power.
they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
How'd you feel if you had a
Yeah,
budget
so
difference though? Like, do you feel like you have a budget restraint? Like, do you feel like there should be budget restrictions?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there should be implemented budget, like
Mhm.
kind of like F1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they,
like a
I
salary
don't
cap.
know. I don't know.
Because
I
everyone's on
think that would
different
be.
chassis, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's tricky.
Yeah,
you
I don't know. I don't think that would really benefit anyone.
No,
Mm.
it wouldn't.
I think it's even with the lower budget, it's definitely doable. The biggest thing is just trying to keep the car reliable and keeping up with maintenance.
Yeah.
That's definitely tough.
So you never actually
So-
had like the two Zs, like a seat time, and then one that you did for just pro driving only.
No, I'm actually
Or
I'm
was
actually
just one car
building
does
another one
all?
right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
sick.
Yep.
Sick. Fire.
Yep. So, yeah, basically last year the my car we did the whole FD season. We did a couple of shootout events. We did
Yep.
I think 3 grid life events. So it had a lot of driving on that car last year.
A lot of wear and tear. Yeah.
But
How many miles you reckon you put on it like throughout the whole year?
probably not nearly as I
Not
don't
as
know.
high as you like. Not
I
as.
should get an odometer in the car.
I mean, be fine. Like if it runs like 100, 200 miles.
Probably like
100, 200
Yeah.
miles.
Yeah.
Like that's like
probably something
just
like
on
that.
track. I think it's pretty reliable. Reliable. to
Yeah,
an
because I
extent.
mean, I'd say probably each set of tires lasts a half to a mile.
Yeah.
Probably, I'd say.
Yeah,
So
It's crazy.
that's
isn't
how
it?
we work about the.
I
Yeah.
probably
how
figure out the
quickly-
math, but
Yeah. How quickly you guys chew through tires as well just blows my mind. You know, even Atlanta, you get,
yeah,
you know, a run and a half, 2 runs, sort of if you're lucky, with
Yep.
a lead and a
Yeah.
chase, and that's it.
Run us
Yeah.
through with the team
It's,
though. Sorry, you were saying? No, carry on.
yeah, it depends on the track too. Like a lot of it has to do with the surface. Like some of the tracks, like Long Beach or even Atlanta. Atlanta's not super hard on tires. But
Yeah.
then you go to like a track like Orlando
Oh,
that doesn't
dude.
look like it would be too
Yeah.
crazy.
The
Like it's only 2
surface.
corners, but
I
you
honestly,
really go through tires there.
That's a dangerous
yeah,
track, dude.
I could not believe the quality and how poor it was
Yeah.
of the track surface. Like that thing
Yeah.
is in desperate need
Yeah.
of a resurface.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously,
I
you
can't
know,
believe it's
all
still
the-
operating.
yeah, well, it's been around
That's
for
the
a while,
even
but
craziest part.
there's a bit of like controversy and a bit of chat in the paddock about, you know, just there's like, you know, a half-foot deep ditch and like a drain in the middle
Yeah.
of the circuit. Like it's
Yeah,
pretty gnarly.
yeah, it's
Um,
kind of there's some sketchy spots,
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And so I guess
but
I was sorry, just a little bit of a sort of maybe a curveball question, but what are some of the throughout your career or leading up to pro in Formula Drift? What are some of the bigger sort of challenges you've had to face coming through, and how have you kind of, you know, gotten through?
there's a lot. So coming, up to pro, the biggest thing is as you go through pro-am and stuff, there's so many parts of the program you have to get together. Not only do you have to have a car, but like a truck and a trailer. You got to have, some kind of money coming in, so you got to have a good job. And a lot of it is just like I didn't even have a trailer until I drove Pro 1, my first year of Pro 1. I always drove
Wow.
with like using borrowed trailers and friends,
Yeah.
that hooked me up with letting me borrow things and stuff like that. So it takes a lot of time to get it all together. But then at the same time, trying to balance everything. Driving FD takes up a ton of time, and trying to balance that with taking time off work and spending time with the family, and you kind of have to make them all mesh together.
Yeah.
I worked kind of a 9 to 5 throughout Pro-Am and Pro 2.
How did that
and then
even
even my
work?
first right.
How
and
did
then
that schedule
my first
even
couple of
look?
years? Yeah, it's terrible. Well, and then once I started in Pro 1, so my last couple of years of Pro Spec, and then finding a balance between everything and making it all work together through My last 2 years, or my last year pro spec. I'm trying to think of the time wise when it was. But I was working basically a full-time job doing overnights, and then doing the day, getting up, getting the car together and building, and it's a lot going on, and then still trying to find times. I got 2 kids as well, so having to spend time with them, and it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a crazy work-life balance, but it sounds like you made it work and made it through.
Yeah, we made it work, and then now we finally I've got a shop here at my house, so I was finally able to just kind of make it work where I'm just working out of my own shop here, just doing
Literally
general
working
automotive
from home.
repair and maintenance, and yeah.
That's such a good terminology.
So,
I love it. But
Yeah.
so you no longer have to
eventually we
work
made
corporate
it
again.
that
I
point.
mean, the overnight. You're no longer working overnight anymore.
Nope. I'm just working for myself.
Oh,
So,
thank God.
yeah, that's a good feeling for sure.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
when you
just
quit
trying
and you're
to,
like, yeah, I made it into FD. What was that like? Was that just like revolutionary for you? Or was it like,
was sick.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was huge. Yeah.
yeah,
And then you realize, holy, I have to try and pay for my house and stuff still. So.
yeah, yeah. Like I'm gonna leave my 9 to 5 to work
it's not
24
out there.
hours.
Yeah.
whole
Right.
other-
Yeah.
Whole other
Exactly.
challenge.
So
But
it's good in ways, and it's just as hard in other ways. So
For sure.
it's
But I feel like
but
in your
like I
shoes,
said,
the pros
they all
outweigh
mesh together so much better. So
100%.
yep, for sure.
yeah.
And so, I guess So for the foreseeable future, how's the future look for Alec Robbins racing? Is it kind of you plan on just keep building the team, and obviously you're kind of still working your way up and dominating the circuit. But what's looking forward look like?
Yeah. Basically, just keep trying to progress. Bringing in newer, bigger partners each year, and trying to make everything work and grow our business here.
Yep.
We just started doing kind of a clothing line, an online thing where we kind of had like a self-made status was kind of our crew when we first got into drifting. It was just a couple of friends, we all had our drifting crews and stuff. So
Yeah.
we're bringing that back and kind of making some merch with that, and also within the shop here, we do the drift lab, we call it the self-made status drift lab. So we do like a lot of car setup and suspension alignments and stuff like that out here too. So, but yeah, we just started the online merch, and so at selfmadestatus.co, we're selling some general automotive shirts and stuff like that. So
I mean, that's good. I think
trying
that's
to kind of diversify, make
100%. Make sleep money, man.
try and get money
Yeah.
coming in from more than just one thing. So
Well, more than just exchanging, your service and time. You're doing both service and goods now, so you're winning on both ends. Trust me. Yeah, you'll come out on top.
That's awesome. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So just trying to grow all that stuff, and kind of keep going up. I got my other car that we just started building last year. We were hoping to debut it this year. It's just another Z33.
Yep.
Just kind of upgrading and building a fresh chassis. So the goal with that one is kind of to bring that one out and compete in FD with that car, and then retire this one to kind of a backup seat time car, kind of.
Yeah.
Something
The bill's
we don't
roughly
worry
going to
about
be
quite
like
so much.
identical, just a fresh chassis.
Yeah, essentially. There's a little bit of tube work that's different. But yeah,
No
some
secret
more.
sauce on this one.
Yep.
No secret
No,
sauce. on this one.
not too much secret sauce. It's basically the same drivetrain. Just some more data from the car. We're doing like suspension travel sensors and stuff like that to kind of things that we see with this car that we wish we had data on that we just don't. We're just kind of the little upgrade.
What are you using to capture data,
See
though?
that could. So we are on Holly EFI.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. So we just data log everything right through the HP ECU.
And how often do you check
So-
your logs? Like you do like one lap, you come back, you check the logs, or
No, not typically. Usually just at the end of the day.
yeah.
The end of each day, we'll pull logs out, and if anything's going wrong, we'll check them.
For sure.
But yeah, it's it's just at the end of the day we'll pull them out and check them out.
Looking at a new livery as well with this with the new build.
Yeah, we kind of so we're sponsored by one of our local wrap companies, Auto Trimmers.
Oh, sweet.
And so we've been with them for since 2020, and we kind of let them go crazy with it. He's done all the designs, and they're pretty vastly different each year. We like to do something new and crazy each year.
Yeah.
Freedom. Yeah, right, exactly. It's good, but it's also, it's hard too, because a lot of times people, you don't recognize the car year to year.
Yeah. It gets a little bit too
so different
out there and wild. Hey, you want it to be. You want it to be recognizable. You want it to say Alec Robbins.
Right, exactly.
It needs to be like memorable. Like every time it's like, that's him. Like whether that's through branding or a specific type of pattern, color, however that is.
Exactly.
You soon figure that out. I guess running back to your sponsors with your local livery guy and your V1 car that you've got from the wreckers, is most of your sponsors locals, or do you particularly that was just came about just through mutual friends or something?
A little bit of both. I wouldn't say I necessarily try to keep it local. It's just a lot of times it works. You meet people in the area, and it's just kind of something that comes about for the most part. But yeah, like NST, one of our big sponsors this year, they're down in the LA area. And just as far as networking goes, it just kind of, you just kind of end up, it seems like, mostly dealing with people in the area. And there's not really a rhyme or reason to it. It's just the people we know, and it just comes about that way.
And when you start making waves, moving up the ranks as well, as quickly as Alec has, people start to notice. So.
100%. But for those who are let's tone it back down. So for those who are trying to get into drifting, like you, not in your Z phase, this is you in your
grassroots.
Your grassroots, the truck, the Nissan truck. Is it a Navara? No.
What do we call it over here?
What do we call them here? We got Navaras, and we got
I think it would be
the Navara equivalent,
like not quite a big pickup, but it's like the smaller kind of, we call them utes over here, so it's it's
the Nissan, it'd be like the late 90s Nissan truck.
Or
I'd say early 90s.
Probably Navara. Yeah, definitely.
So that period of time, what would you tell someone then, like, how to get into drifting, who's wanting to get into drifting? What would you tell someone, let's say, who just got their license and they want to get into drifting? As a hobby, not to go into pro.
A better first vehicle than a truck.
Anything than what I started with.
But no, it's find a car like a Z or a BMW, and just kind of go out to your first event. You can read all day online about you need this modification and this and that, and you need a handbrake and coilovers and all this stuff, but
seat time,
that stuff all helps. But just get out there and try and drift, and you can kind of go from there. You'll realize right away when you start sliding kind of why you need those modifications.
You start feeling the limitations,
kind of understand understanding why you actually need that stuff kind of helps with the
learning process. So you would rather someone jump into a stock car, go out on a track day, do the driver mod things, learn about the car, progress the build, rather than build a car, fully build it, then go to their first track day. I think so. I think that gives you a lot better understanding of like the tunability of the car. When you do get like the aftermarket suspension components, and you can play with the alignment and stuff like that, it kind of, you'll understand more what exactly you're doing to it. So it gives you a little bit more in-depth view of the car. Yeah, for sure.
Feel. Yep.
And then rolling back to the sim question, ever used a sim rig for practice?
I've used a couple before. I don't have one personally here. I'd love to get one. It just hasn't been something that I've pulled the trigger on yet.
It's It surprised me, how many drivers in FD actually do jump on the rig every night to get a bit of practice in. But it sounds like it's kind of
there's definitely a lot.
Yeah, it's slowly becoming more and more of a thing, and I guess it makes sense in between events and whatnot. But
and it's cost effective. You don't have to go out there and haul your car out to an event and then put all the money into it and tires and everything. And it's just a quick, easy jump on it and rip a couple laps. And
that's it. And if you snap a tire out, it doesn't actually cost you any money in the game. So it's
exactly.
Exactly.
Crazy.
That'll be the next VR upgrade. Is you'll have to actually pay for the broken parts.
That's it. Well, with
make it that much more realistic.
That's it. With Talk Drift 2, we're going for ultra realism, but not quite to that crazy extent. I think.
Thank God.
But, it's like, hey, sorry, you better your tires. You're gonna buy some more, dude. Sucked into our ecosystem for the game.
And so, do you have any sort of any events coming up, or any any sort of personal events, or like drift events locally in Minnesota, or?
Yeah, we have. So we got New Jersey, and then the weekend after that, we've got they've got a kind of a shootout event at Englishtown. So we're gonna drive that, and then I think the weekend after that one. We've got a local track that they do kind of like a grassroots $5,000 to win drift event.
Sweet.
It's it's a small tire rule, and then just to keep it kind of really grassroots, they don't allow like quick changes or dog boxes or anything like that. So it's kind of a cool little event. It's at a smaller track, so the lower horsepower cars can stand a chance against everybody, and so it's a fun one. I'll be up there. I'll be judging that event, and then later in the season they've got a $10,000 to win, which is more of kind of an open rule book event. So we'll be up here. I'll be competing in that one. But they have a few cool little local series now that have been popping up the last few years.
That's awesome.
Do you judge a lot of events, or is it just that one? This is the one local event?
Not a lot. I've done a handful of events. Just stuff in Minnesota, smaller grassroots stuff. But I've done probably 5 or 6.
So from a judge perspective,
and stuff like that,
what are you looking for? Like from the judge, like what are you looking for?
It is a good question.
Yeah,
I've often wondered that.
I think
because you hear the commentators and you hear them hyping, but some people are just like, but how did they come to that conclusion? You don't get the whole. It's not like basketball or something where you're just like, well, hits a 3 because the camera said he was behind the line. You know what I mean? Like,
I've judged a handful of events up here. A lot of times at the grassroots level, it's looking for consistency. That's a big one. Consistency and smoothness. You can really tell when someone's feeling dialed and their car is set up correctly. And you can watch it in their front wheels and see that there's minimal corrections, and you can hear it in the throttle. It's nice and smooth, while also trying to push the limits of what you can do. So that's a lot of what you're looking for.
Yeah, do you also get data off the car though? Like, do you know, like, all right, A car is X horsepower and B car is like running a lot less horsepower than this? Do you take those factors into account, or you have no idea? You just you're just watching.
No,
it's just from a spectator view, and you can just roughly guess.
It's from a judging standpoint, you can't really take that into consideration. Just because it's
they're competing in the same class,
kind of
so
an outside factor.
You gotta treat it equally, and plus there's rules in that one too. So actually you just gotta treat it as equals. Sucks to be the other guy.
It's like judging someone less harsh because their car is set up very poorly.
It's just like it's kind of a you problem.
Something you just have to kind of
It's just like, well, you chose to be here.
no
with the setup.
No handicaps in drift. It's full throttle. And so we're talking.
Heads up.
Are you sort of judging lead and chase runs as well in that sense, or are these just sort of single runs?
Yeah, they're tandem competitions, so you're kind of judging both at the same time. It's very similar to like the FD judging, where it's just the 3 judges, and a lot of the events, they don't have qualifying for like the grassroots stuff, just because it takes so much time.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a seeded bracket, and so
Okay.
yeah, it's just tandem battle judging. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. No, it's good to see, like, you know, the sport's growing so much, especially over in the States at grassroots level, all the way through to FD. Like, you just notice more and more people every year rocking up to Formula Drift events. And I remember last year, I think they basically, they said, Brian, remember mentioned at SEMA that Formula Drift's really chasing like NASCAR numbers. Like they're growing. Yeah, it's really exciting. So
that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, every event this year has been sold out, I think, before the event even happened. So
that's it. I couldn't believe the at FD Atlanta this year compared to last year, just the sheer amount of people in the crowd. But
I also feel like last year you guys also had, it was also like, you know, opening borders for international travel and stuff as well. You know, like, because that was also the reason why you guys were able to go for international travel and stuff.
COVID into account. It was it was good feel to the place, and you know, the culture's awesome. I just love the culture, and especially on the ground in the paddock. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's very diverse too. Yeah, the whole grid this year. You know, we got a handful of international drivers and some new faces. So
that's it. Do you sort of catch up with any other drivers outside of the events much at all, or do you guys chat sort of in between events, keep in touch?
Yeah. There's a few guys that I chat with. There's not really a whole lot. I mean, I'm the only one up in Minnesota here. There's a couple of Pro Spec guys up in the area too.
Oh, cool.
That we kind of drive together and stuff. But we all stay in touch.
No, it's good. It's awesome. I kind of got that feel between a lot of the drivers. You know, everyone's everyone's pretty tight knit. So
I'll let you win. I'll let you win, bro.
Everyone's super chill. They're all good to talk to, and all down to earth guys. So
that's what you love to hear.
It's one of the best parts about the sport.
Yeah. But speaking of the sport, though, I'm sure you go to a lot of events outside of FD too, though. Do you have any friends that you know that are like, man, you should be an FD, dude? And he's like, nah, just me, bro. Only I made it.
Everyone else go away.
Yes, sir. There can only be one of me.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a couple of guys. I was the first one to really come up in Minnesota here. But then since then, one of our good friends, Cody Buchanan, I've kind of watched him drive the last few years, coming up from a stock 350Z and just shredding in it to finally making his debut in Pro Spec this year.
Oh, wow.
So that's been really cool. Kind of watching the progression through him. And then Austin Matta, he's also a local driver here, who's I think this is his second year in Pro Spec, and he's been doing really good the last couple of years.
Sweet.
So
that's fine.
It's nice to kind of see other drivers from the area making the jump up.
100%.
Definitely. You guys could start carpooling down to events.
I know. Yeah, none of us have a trailer big enough. That's the issue. So eventually, I'd like to, team up and kind of make a all haul down together, or
like a shop haul or something. Yeah, like something to promote the shop as well. That'd be sick.
All of our resources.
Yeah. That's it. So I guess, what would be one of your favorite, or a few of your favorite circuits throughout the season?
They all have their ups and downs. They all are pretty vastly different. I like probably the more technical tracks, I guess you would say. St. Louis, we've always had good luck at, even though everybody hates that layout. But Atlanta's always super fun to drive. That track, you've seen it in person. It's so much different than what you see on TV and stuff.
Keyhole,
with the elevation change, and
it's crazy.
Coming, when you're sitting on the line, it's something you kind of have to just be there to see, because you can't see into the first corner because it's like over the crest of the hill. And then coming up into the keyhole, that outside it'd be outer 2 is on another blind corner. You can't see that when you're coming up the hill. You just kind of have to back into it and get on throttle blindly. So it's always a challenge, but
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the elevation is just you can't. Yeah, you have to be there to kind of to understand how big that dip is.
Yeah.
And then
How big is that dip? Like, if you were to put it in a degree, like,
I mean, Alec would know better than I would. He's run it a few times, but
like how soft are you running your
percentage,
suspension? Because it seems like pretty deep.
Yeah. Well, it's not like so much of like a bump per se.
Yeah.
but
Okay.
It's
Okay.
just like the height of the drop. It's probably like, I don't know, 100, 200 feet, I'd say.
Yeah,
I guess
it's-
you guys have
Oh.
2 feet, huh?
yeah, it's a big.
And how
hill.
fast are you traveling at? Like, at what speed are you traveling at? At that time?
I think initiations are right around 100 miles an hour.
Wow,
Bro, no.
160
Yeah.
Ks, man,
Dude, you need, that's
Yeah.
insane.
far out.
Yeah. Insane
Yeah.
amount of balls.
Yeah.
So-
And I guess sort of on the topic of tracks as well, and I know this is a big talking point a couple of weeks ago in Orlando, but when you found out about the the infamous track circuit change the day before FD, and what were your thoughts on that? Because I know that was such a big.
I was kind of I was excited for it.
He's like,
Yeah.
the playing fields are leveled.
It was yeah. I just
He's like, I'm
remember
coming
that.
all the way from North. I've never driven this track. Now no one gets to drive on this track.
It was-
But yeah, I was excited for it. Like I said, I like the technical tracks, and that had a lot more than just one transition and 2 corners. So
yeah.
I was kind of excited for it, and then they ended up changing it back right at the last minute. So
Yeah,
bummer,
And
but
I remember everyone was. There was a bit of concern around tire life as well, getting through it.
yeah. So we're on the Kendas this year, and they've actually been lasting us pretty good. So I almost think that would have been an advantage to us.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's yeah.
yeah.
How many,
I was
how
looking
many, how
forward
many
to it.
Kenda tires do you run through now, though? Like how much is a lot less? Like you're saving like a set of tires, or are you saving?
So like in Atlanta, we were able to squeeze 3 laps out of a set of tires.
Damn,
Whereas a lot of the other teams are like
lap and a half.
2 is pretty much max.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Damn,
Yep.
3 laps, dude.
so
That's
it's
pretty
not a
fast.
whole lot better.
No, but
yeah,
it's like
it's
for
enough
you
that
guys
it
are
would make a
drifting.
difference.
Yeah,
It adds up.
at that scale, it becomes a really sustainable at
Yeah.
that point. Yeah, like that
Yeah, 'cause
that extra
even-
lap. Yeah.
Even with the 2 lap, like the normal Orlando layout, it's pretty tough on tires. There's a lot of teams that they're kind of having to hold back on one of the laps, either lead or chase to conserve tires.
Wow.
Whereas we could basically on 2 hard laps on the Kendas, we were like right about at the wear bars.
Yep.
So we had a couple 30 seconds left to go.
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
It's something.
So-
Yeah. Something you wouldn't even
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
right.
about. Yeah.
Well, going on top of that, then, how do you prepare for your, or like, I mean, anything, just FD, like, let's do FD for example. How do you prepare for that? Both mentally, obviously, we understand the logistics of, the truck,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But mentally, when you're sitting there and you're at the event, what do you do with yourself? Like, are you
Getting
just
in the
like,
zone.
are you like, I'm just trying to be as
Yeah.
calm as zen, or are you like listening to like
That's
hard rock?
the biggest thing is just trying
Keep
to
it-
stay calm.
Yeah.
And keep your head in the right place.
Yeah, because even though you got
the
practice and
nerves.
stuff, yeah, and then
Yeah.
when you are actually qualifying and stuff, then you have public too, yeah. On top of that, you just got like
Yeah.
a bunch of eyes on you as well. Like, you must be feeling like the
Yeah.
anxiety. I mean, for me, I know my anxiety would be like, dude, what have I got
Yeah, that's the
myself
biggest
into?
thing is it's not even like when I'm in the car, I'm fine.
Yep.
It's just like the anticipation leading up to being in the car. So like
Yeah.
you get to the track and then, waking up in the morning and, knowing that you have to get there and get all
Yeah.
the stuff done. And I'd say that's the hardest part.
But once you're sitting in
Once
the
I
car,
get, the helmet on and once you're in the car, it's like, I know
Even
exactly
time.
what I have to do. So it's fine then.
yes, sir.
But yeah, it's mostly just keeping a clear mind when you're in the car, and you kind of try not to think about what you're doing.
You got music in the helmet.
because like when I don't listen to music. No, not
Damn.
at FD. I've never tried it at even smaller events. I guess in my truck I have had music, but
Yeah.
I've never really tried driving with it. I've thought about it, but I always feel like when you're listening to a song and you're kind of getting into it, I feel like it would kind of throw off your timing
Yeah.
with like
you
where
would
to
time it
initiate
with the
and stuff.
beat.
Just
Yeah.
because, yeah,
You
exactly.
initiate with the beat drop. Transitions
Yeah,
to
like you
sync
get
just
all
for the
hyped
beat
up
drop.
and grip the handbrake. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you need
So
need pure
that's kind of
focus.
my excuse why I don't.
Yeah.
You need pure focus as
But-
well. I can only imagine, especially
Yeah.
with FD. It's
Yeah.
I mean, you got to hear the car
Yeah.
too, like.
that's it.
Yeah, there's that factor
Yeah.
as well. Like, if you don't hear it, it's like
Yeah.
something's
I
wrong.
don't think you could listen to music loud enough to not hear my car. So.
Yeah, there's that.
It is. Yeah, it's loud.
Do you run a cool suit? Cool suit at least though? Like in the hotter areas, like
yeah.
Long Beach? Yeah, fuck, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We always have it.
Yeah.
Even at Long Beach, like you get kind of that nice ocean breeze.
Yeah.
Because you're right on the coast there. But even then, it gets hot in the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always got that on.
Because that the cool suits are the under sort of shirts that have the little like cooling.
Yep.
It's like-
strips
yeah,
through
So it's
them.
got the little
Yeah. I remember seeing those
and
around.
then,
I'm like, what's
Why has this
going
guy
on?
got an S key in the back?
It
of his
looks
coat?
like
Why has
the
he got
back
an
of a refrigerator
He's
on
got an
his shirt.
S,
Like
S key in the
Yeah.
boot connected
Yeah.
to him.
it's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. So we've actually got it's basically just a cooler that sits in the back of the car,
Yep.
and we just keep it full of ice, and
Sweet.
yeah.
Does the job.
Yeah, it's always funny because it's just ours is just like an off the shelf like cooler.
Yeah.
So it just looks like a normal cooler sitting in the back of the car. So everyone always asks about it, but
Yeah.
Oh, yo, you got bears in the back? Nah, it's just for me, bro.
Reach in the back and just grab a quick bottle of water mid.
Yeah.
Okay, so just I guess to touch on this season currently, obviously it's been a pretty interesting season. RTR have been doing pretty well. Who do you see sort of moving forward? Who do you reckon's going to be dominating and possibly come out on top and win the championship?
I think it's going to probably be a repeat of last year with Osbo and Field.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Field come out on top.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I actually thought he was gonna win.
we'll see if he can hold it together this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're rooting for him.
I was surprised with some of the
But-
decisions in Orlando, and then even just the outcome of that. It was pretty wild, but
Yeah. A lot of the underdogs you really can't kind of hold back with them anymore.
yeah, that's
It's
it.
Do you
Yeah,
watch
you
any
gotta-
of your
you got to
like?
give it your all every single run.
Yeah,
100%. Sorry, I cut you off. Do you watch any of your
That's a-
previous runs and to progress? Like you're like, hey, look, I did this run. I could have done this better. I could have done that better. Or you don't really look at that. You're just like,
Yeah.
no. Oh, you do.
Yeah. No, we definitely do.
Yeah.
We look at that, and then a lot of times we'll obviously pre-race prep. We have notes from previous years on car setup and stuff. So we'll go over that, and then typically we'll watch previous seasons, like the round that we're going into, but from the previous season, to kind of see certain lines people are taking, or where you could improve on not only your runs but on other runs. If you put yourself in a chase
see,
run,
like,
you can
similar
see kind of
repeat.
where other people made mistakes, and
Yep.
so kind of just kind of reviewing things, and you can really kind of get your head in the right space prior to driving the event.
Yeah, of course. Always finessing and
100%.
critiquing.
So when you were drifting the truck, how many events and or whatnot did you have to go through, or how many miles did you have to, or seat time did you do before you're like, I'm just confident I'm going to do 100 miles, 160 kilometers, 100 miles at a 100-degree angle. Like, at what point were you like, I'm confident to do that?
It's a slow progression, especially
Yeah.
in the truck, because it was slowly modifying the truck to be able to do that.
Yeah. The truck was already
and then
a
kind of
curveball
slowly,
itself.
slowly, So the truck was like, when I started driving, the truck was always kind of the limiting factor. I knew I could do certain things, but it was just like the truck could only handle so much.
But when you went to the Z,
but yeah,
you're
so-
like, I'm the GOAT.
Yeah. exactly.
He's like, fuck
No,
you.
it's
Truck sucked.
yeah, we jump in the Z, and it's like looking back, it's like I don't know how I drove the truck as well as I did.
Yeah,
Just
completely.
because
But do you feel like the truck
it
made you a
didn't
better driver
perform.
though?
Yeah, I think so. It definitely makes you drive more on your toes. You have to it throws a lot more curveballs at you.
So maybe it is a good
A
first
lot
drift
of
car.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Maybe it could
A lot
be.
of it too is some of the tracks that I kind of learned to drive on, they weren't like smooth tracks. They had a lot of like small like elevation change, not a lot of elevation change, but like they just weren't great tracks,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
surface wise.
what type of tracks were they in
So that
Minnesota?
kind
Were
of
they for time attack, karts? What were they really
no, it was
for?
mostly just like open parking lot kind of
Okay, yep,
events,
yep.
with just like cones in a parking lot. But
Yeah.
just like the surfaces weren't that great, so it kind of
Yeah.
like you kind of had to know or like be ready for things
Yeah.
to change, for like less grip, more grip, and then like where it would like come over a little crest and you'd have to catch the car before it loops out and things like
Yeah.
that. So
But I feel
yeah,
like with the
it made you more aware.
100%. But also, I felt would have made you a better driver too, though. I mean, like you're just
Yeah.
starting
Oh yeah,
off
definitely.
in level extreme,
Yeah.
and you're just forced
Yeah.
to having to deal with these situations. And
Yep.
it's like, well, this is my local track, so I just either need to
Yeah.
get better or I suck.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, with the truck too, I ran a relatively small tire, or today's standards, it would be a small tire. I always ran a 235 on that,
Mhm.
on the rear. So they kind of made you, when you chased a faster car, you really had to keep your momentum up.
Yeah.
And I think that helps with teaching you not to use too much angle, or using the line to your advantage
Mm.
to run a good smooth race line.
For sure.
So,
Now, going back to
yeah.
the truck, please tell me it's still alive. Is it still around?
Is it hanging? Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
hanging there?
Is it
Yep.
hanging? Like, surely it's still
Yeah.
got the LS.
Yep.
It's, yep. Thank God.
Yeah. So,
What,
yeah,
how's his life now? What does he do?
So it's slowly getting rebuilt right now. It used to be like it was basically stock truck suspension in the back, like leaf
Yep.
springs and lowering blocks and like a
Damn.
notch frame and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we cut the back of it off, and it's got full 350Z IRS on the back now.
Ooh.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm just kind of going through. It was so it went from basically being a street driven truck to a full like pro-am drift truck, and now it's slowly kind of switching back to a street car.
Mm.
So it's still got the full Cajun LS and 6-speed trans and all that
Yep.
stuff. Keeping it kind of to its roots and where it came from, but also putting like a radio back in it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's still street legal and everything, so I can still kind of cruise around with it.
That's
So
awesome.
it's still kind of my Sunday cruiser.
How's the
The street legal terminology
gonna say-
in America in comparison to
Yeah.
is like, wait, what?
I still love that
Yeah.
you could drive a drift truck around on the road. Like that's
Yeah.
over
Yep.
here it's just completely, and like places
Yeah.
like California, you just can't do that anymore. But
Yeah.
Right.
that's
Yeah,
sick.
no, a lot of the guys around here still have plates on our cars, and we can drive them on the street and to events. And that's actually what I want to do with the truck, is have plates on it and be able to drive to an event, drift,
Did you
for a
ever
day
actually
and then
consider
come
the
home.
truck for FD? Like, was there like a point like, yo, guys,
No.
what if we
So
didn't do the Z?
it's actually like one of the first rules in the FD rule book is no trucks or SUVs. So
Because I
damn.
thought like
Yeah,
that would
so
be
that
really
we
good
got cut
branding,
off pretty
branding for you. Like, oh, we're the
Yeah.
only truck. It doesn't matter what fucking livery
Yeah.
you got at the end of the day. It's a truck, dude.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be sick.
That would be.
But yeah, I know Josh Robinson had that Ute for a couple years.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was about the closest thing you can get to a truck in FD.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
But-
so, I guess another bit of a sort of a curveball question. Favorite car, forever car, and your first car. I guess start with your first ever car when you first got your license.
my first car was actually my truck.
Oh wow! So the
was,
actual truck was your
yeah.
first car.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I got that when I was 16. My dad was actually the original owner of it. He bought it brand new off the lot in 1986. and
Wow.
then drove it for a few years, and then sold it to someone. And then when I turned 16, we ended up buying it back.
Yep.
And yeah, that was my first car. So
it's been in the family since new and all the way through. It's had an origin story. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
pretty
sick,
cool.
dude.
So it's one of the reasons I still have it. You know, you can't really get rid of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
sentimental
A lot of
value.
memories in that thing. So
Yeah.
But also too, that's actually how you. I mean, like you're saying before, that's actually how you learn to do all your trades that you do now. I mean, the skills and all whatnot. So
that was actually that was the first roll cage that I built.
Yeah.
A lot of
were you
the
in
welding
education,
body work and
or
stuff.
no? It was just like you were learning through friends, Chris Fix on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we have like some like welding classes and stuff in like high school and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, it was mostly just me in the garage with a welder, just teaching myself how to do it.
Yep.
And just kind of learn as you go.
So would you say that the truck's your forever car as well then? First and forever car? It's a...
Probably, yeah.
It's the forever car by default.
Yeah, that'll be around forever for sure.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I respect that. And I guess, your favorite car of all time.
That's a tough one. I would say probably the Corvettes.
Okay.
I really like the Corvettes.
Yep.
I think they're good for everything.
Yeah,
There's
true.
not a whole lot they can't do.
That's it.
You can build them to an extreme in pretty much every motorsport you want.
Yeah.
You can run them. So I think that'd be a really fun chassis to play with.
A lot of
Do you have a daily?
potential.
Do you have a daily though? You got a daily?
No, just the truck basically. Not the drift truck, but
No, the
tow
whole
rig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tow rig.
Yeah. Nothing exciting. I put all my money into the cool cars, and I can't afford anything cool to drive.
And the business too, man. When you open that shop though, like you provide, what services do you provide to your shop?
It's any kind of like general automotive work, like brakes and suspension work, engine repair, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also do some fabrication work, like bash bars and tube work on drift cars and things
Is it
like
just
that.
you and your small team?
It's just me.
Oh, just you, dude. Love it.
Yep. So it's just me, and I do like some alignments and drift car setup and stuff like that. So kind of provide, if you're a newer driver or if you've never had the car, set up where, by someone who kind of knows drifting.
You can work with them and slowly progress their career. That's actually super sick, actually. Yeah, we it's not many shops like that here in Australia that, really...
Well, any grassroots event you go to, there's always guys that you see that are just fighting the car.
Yeah.
And that they could be, they're doing things right, but they're getting frustrated because the car is just not doing what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Alec Robbins,
so bring it out and get it set
hands
up.
the business cards. Let me look after you, sir.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Not all heroes wear capes, dude. Fire album, by the way. I love that album.
Yeah, it's always nice being able to help out guys and get them
awesome.
set up to where they can
100%. I'm sure you wished you would have had older you help
definitely.
you out when you were in your truck base, like, hey, buy a Z.
Yeah.
Don't progress with the
You're
truck.
right,
Like,
Exactly.
you can do so much more. What are your career highlights, man? I mean, you seem to have a pretty good come up. I mean, obviously, when you got to quit your overnight shift, that was obviously a big moment for you. I mean, what are other career highlights that you've had, though? Something that's just as big as that.
So my rookie season in Pro-Am with the truck, so my first year that we drove that in a Pro-Am event, we actually won the championship our rookie year. And then
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that was our first year of really competitive drifting. And then we went into Pro Spec, and so the third year in that, we won the event in St. Louis. So that was kind of our highlight for that. And then we took second in the series. And then in Pro 1, my big highlight right now was in St. Louis in 2021, I think. We qualified first in St. Louis, and we took I think we finished fifth in that event.
Yeah.
So that was a big one for us.
100%, dude. Pretty up there for not for
we're
not long.
we're just chasing that number one qualified
creeping up there, man.
On a good trajectory.
Yeah,
Alec. It's awesome to see.
Yeah.
And
we're on the verge of hitting that podium. We're shooting for it.
That's it, man. And with this new build, it sounds like there's some pretty exciting things on the horizon.
Yeah,
100%. With the
definitely.
knowing that there's a V3 on the way, it's like, I feel like for you, it's like, hey, I no longer have one car. If I push a bit harder, we do have that C-Time car. You know what I mean? So subconsciously, I feel
we
like,
can always, you know,
you know, because like
backup.
yeah, you got the backup, or else it's like, no. This is like, we still got 6 more months of racing. This car needs to see the end of the 6 months. But now that it's V3, it's like, dude, I think, dude, I pray for you to go places, man.
Yeah, thank you.
No dramas, man. So speaking of which, who's your support system? You know, you got your family. Do they come with you? Are they there to support you, or is it just?
My wife is definitely my biggest supporter.
100%.
I think she, you know, kind of sees what I can do even more so than I see sometimes. So she definitely pushes me, and you know, in a good way to do better, or not better, but to just to
Keep
do
going.
what I. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I could say that. But yeah, she's my biggest supporter for sure. She's also my spotter, so she's up there. She's always on the radio with me, telling me not to crash.
Bring the car back in one piece.
She's just passenger driving on the mic. Turn! Angle! More gas! Why are you
During the
passenger driving? That's so good.
Yep. So yeah. So she's at every event with us. We bring the kids as much as we can.
Yeah.
You know, mostly if Grandma and Grandpa can make it out and kind of hang out with them. But yeah, it's nice having the little truck camper we have, because we can they can chill out in there and watch movies and sit in the AC while we're out in the hot slaving on the car. Orlando was fun because there was like a little RC track, so my son was over like playing with the RC cars the whole time. And
are you actually into RC cars?
I don't have any like drift cars or anything. Of course, I like to play with them. Who doesn't? But,
if it's not mine,
he's got his like cheap little RC drift car that I steal from him all the time and play with.
So sick.
Yeah.
Do you hope that your kids grow up to do a similar sport? Or you don't really mind?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. They've got like some little Razor crazy carts.
Yeah.
That they rip around and drift and stuff, and I'm sure they'll get into it eventually, but I don't want to. Are
you gonna do the classic corporate dad like
do it when they want to, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Not the billionaire dad, but I put my son through karting at the age of 6, praying he's an F1 driver by 18.
Yeah.
See those little Razor carts, the crazy carts get around. You see them getting around the paddock, and everyone's. I see every second driver's driving one these days. I swear, like it's becoming a full thing.
Yeah, with the neons too. I can't forget the neons.
Right, yeah.
The neons is
we
the
brought
icing
them down
on
to
the
St.
cake.
Louis, and they had like a little crazy cart like drift thing in our pit.
Oh,
so
sick.
sick. That's
My
awesome.
daughter and my son, and then my niece too. They were all ripping around, causing havoc in the pits.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they're entertained.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Everyone's
fun.
happy, you know.
That's it.
Yeah, right.
And so I guess where can our listeners kind of get to you and check out some more of your stuff, Alec? Are you sort of are you doing anything on YouTube, or obviously Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I'm slowly on YouTube. We've got a short build series that I've been doing on the new car that we're building.
Yep.
And then we're at if you search at Alec Robbins Racing, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the main social platforms. So
Sweet.
you can find us anywhere on there.
Does your shop have a socials?
Yes, it's at Selfmade Status.
Fire. I want to take a peep.
Sorry, it's at selfmadestatus.co. That's what it is.
Easy, perfect.
Selfmadestatus.co.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, easy. Well, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Get you to close.
Yeah.
Mr.
Alec,
Opening and Closer.
I'll take it. Alec, thanks again for joining us. Obviously,
thank you guys.
Best of luck this weekend and for the rest of the season, and
thank you.
Have a safe drive down, and we'll be watching on from down under. So
awesome. Thank you guys.
No worries. Thanks for your time again.
Yeah,
Close up.
stay up to date on talkmotorsport.io, and on that note, we'll see you on the next podcast.